Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fast Guard News. I'm Dwight Gibson,
I'm Rod Payne.
and today we want to talk to you about employee termination, but especially employee termination in remote areas. So let's touch on a little bit what employee termination is, first of all, and then when you get an employee termination in a remote area where, say, they may be 30 minutes or more outside of a major metropolitan area. How difficult is it for a security company to come in and cover that to provide the service that's required to make the employees feel safe?
So, first of all, the employee termination is, we call it a high-risk employee termination. It's when somebody's made a credible threat. Mm-hmm. It's when somebody said, if they fire me, I'm going postal. Mm-hmm. We believe you. And a lot of companies have put into protocol, their the employee handbook mm-hmm. or their way of operating, their protocols into now when we let somebody go, whether they made a threat or not, we just going to call employee termination security guards to come and be on site just to lower our liability, because you never know how people are going to react. Like if you look at what's going on the news right now, things are going up and down. Companies are laying off. I was reading about one of the larger tech companies, how they let people go. They said they got an email. They tried to log into their email over the weekend, and they were just locked out. And then shortly after, they got a text message, hey,
don't come back.
You're done. Yeah. And so, that sometimes that type of stuff can rub people the wrong way if you're not thick-skinned. Mm-hmm. And so that employee termination security guard is really that last step before an active shooter. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's a reality we have to discuss now because it happens so much. Like we essentially wouldn't be here recording this video and talking about this subject if it wasn't lucrative, right? For businesses to have. So what ends up happening, and the reason why I say lucrative, it's better to have a security guard as a business, not lucrative for us, for you as a business. Mm-hmm. It's better to have us there on site. It's going to save you so much money, because if a person hurts one person and they gave you forewarning, right, i.e. they sent out an email or you found a manifesto in their desk that listed how they were going to unalive people one by one, mm-hmm. and you didn't take the steps to try to protect these people, then fault comes on you. And the lawsuits start in the hundreds of millions, mm-hmm. depending on how big your company is. So, you have to protect yourself during these things, and especially in a remote area. So think about a lot of these the data centers, data farms, or whatever they are, mining farms. Right. You have the solar panel farms mm-hmm. that are out in the middle of nowhere. You have different situations where people test different things, rockets, mm-hmm. firearms, out in the desert, and they have to leave certain large, very expensive items out there in the middle of the desert, mm-hmm. and so, or up in the mountains or wherever it's at, mm-hmm. they're gonna need protection, and so we've came in. You have to be equipped to do a lot of these things. You need 4-wheel drive trucks. You need lighting, the lighting booth with the diesel fuel. Mm-hmm. Some of them you need drones. You need camera systems. So there's a lot that goes into being
walkie-talkies, because sometimes no cell service.
Correct. And you have to understand what the lay of the land is. If you send some guys that are used to working in a mall out to a remote location like that, they have to account for things like at night there's going to be in the desert where we were at out in California.
Coyotes.
Yeah, it was scorpions mm-hmm. and tarantulas.
And the temperature dropped.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be 80 in the daytime, and it drops down to 35 at night. Mm-hmm. So you have to be prepared for that from a company standpoint. You got to get guys that aren't going to be afraid of the dark, right. Because if they panic, it could cause a situation. And then also you want people that are tactically sound, that know how to handle themselves in case an intruder or somebody does come, because chances are people are going to try it.
Well, you have most companies that won't even go outside of a certain perimeter from the main city. Mm-hmm. We don't have that problem. We'll go anywhere in the nation.
We go where you call us. Mm-hmm. There's, I think part of that is a lot of people built their, like I said, all security guard companies are licensed the same. What matters is who's running them. Mm-hmm. A lot of these security companies were built off of the traditional plan. We're on a more accelerated plan and on a more tactical based plan, because we are the answer to the questions that people were looking for. Is there a security company that we can hire right now? Can they be here tonight? I'm afraid now. So, the police have came, they took the report, and they leave. You can't hire a police detail night of. So we're your option. We can come out armed, vehicles, lights, the whole nine, whatever we need to do to make you feel safe and make your employees feel safe. Remember, you have a fiduciary responsibility to provide a safe environment for your employees to come work in. And when you fail to create that, you put people in a situation, they're going to sue you. And worst of all, somebody's going to get hurt. It's not even the financial loss aspect. It's you don't want somebody to get hurt because you failed to call to get security when you knew this person said that, if I get fired, then, certain people are going to get hurt.
Right.
So the quick story about one of the last ones, I think I FaceTimed all you guys when I got out there, we got called out last minute, middle of the night, and I happened to be the one to answer the phone. So I said, you know what, I'll go do this one. It was in a very remote area. I had to catch a flight within about 45 minutes.
And they had previously called another company, and the company accepted the job, but then they canceled on the customer at the last minute because they couldn't make it. And then that's when they called us.
Correct. We came in, knight in shining armor style. And we got out there, and I got out there and realized that, I thought it was just some type of construction site. Maybe somebody said they were going to spray paint, and that's it. We get out there, and, I'm out there at night, and I called you guys, showed you guys everything, complete pitch dark, no lights whatsoever. I'm sitting out there, I'm like, well, if I was this guy and he's planning on hurting somebody or trying to enter the property, there's only one way in, one way out. The rest was surrounded by marsh. So there's bears out there, there's hogs, there's stuff moving around at night, alligators. And I'm out there in the dark, and I have my handgun. I got my old Glock 19X, and I bought the extended mag. I was like, I can handle anything out here with this. Then the next morning, everybody came in, and they seen me, and people were waving, and they were like, hey, man, we're so glad you're here. And one of the guys called me, he said, hey,
Come here, let me show you this guy's file. His name is Jason Bourne.
Did they show you the picture? Yeah. You ever seen Jason Bourne? This guy would kill Jason Bourne easy. And it's like, what? And then they were telling me he had a manifesto and a list and the way that he was going to hurt people and all kind of stuff. And I realized I wasn't prepared. I didn't bring a vest. I didn't bring this. So luckily, the good people back in the office organized for my replacement, and I got out of there after about a day. But I was on the edge for a little while, because once they told me his combat training, sniper training, and all of this stuff.
So we got there in the time that the customer required, and then we sent reinforcements in to relieve you, so you didn't have to face Jason Bourne in the field.
Correct.
And then, thankfully, you're safe back here today with us.
I'm back. I lived. What they say at the end of the story, they said, but did you die? No, I ain't died, but I came close. So you look at these scenarios, and you realize what we represented. When I seen those guys, and they started smiling, they was throwing me thumbs up and waving, everybody's being super friendly, because they've been walking around scared out there for the last 2 weeks.
Right.
That, for the last, I think it was like a day, the last couple hours that the last company failed them. We coming, and they're super happy that we're there. But remember, this is a remote site. This is somewhere cell phone coverage is kind of shoddy. You can't really see visibility. I wish I would have had the drone at that time, to bring it out there for that location, because it would have made sense. But again, I kind of dodged in, and we had to get it covered.
So if you need employee termination service, whether you're in a big city, a small city, a remote area in the desert, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you. We look forward to hearing from you. You can reach us online at www.fastguardservice.com, and you can also reach us by phone at 844-25-GUARD. We look forward to talking to you soon. Have a nice day.